All right, so the Phoenicians, a very, 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 very prefer and a favorite subject of mine. Phoenicians, for those of you that don't know, are what you were referred to as the those from Canaan or Canaanites. And what they did and what they were doing was the beginnings of many, many things and styles and rulership that still transpire today. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be throwing out a lot of words and terms, not to prop myself up or make myself seem larger than you or more intellectual than you, because towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you where all this comes from. It's facts and language. Facts and language are linguistics. Canaan, if you want to know something about words, you got to go to the word of those people. So to a Hebrew or a Chaldean in their dictionary, Canaan, as you can see, was pronounced Canaan. And when you look up Canaan, you see merchant and traffic, like traffickers, because they were trafficking mercantile by the sea. These are some of the those that were a part of a secret priesthood who had governed men in large groups of different nations, and they became what you call a seafarer. They're a seafarer because in law, a fare is something that you have to pay when you pass. It's a payment for passage by the sea. And so the law of the sea that deals with paying and commerce is admiralty law. The maritime. Maritime is M-A. M-A is a feminine phonetic, a feminine principle. And this is what the seal they would use was depicted as a god, or a goddess. And when you're looking at her, what are you seeing? You're seeing someone maybe you could say looks like Nicki Minaj or Little Kim. Because, don't make no mistake, this ain't no black and white thing. Because when you see what they were doing, you'll understand why today the clergy, the canon law, where it all came from, it started with those from Canaan. Maybe didn't start there, but they sure as heck perfected it. And so these people were merchants. You're a merchant. Why? Because you trade. And when you are in the trading by the sea, you use a seal. This was the seal of those that you call Canaanites. The deity, she was called Tanit. Tanit was similar to what you would call Astarte. Well, when you're looking at Astarte, you're seeing what? The similarity between the Egyptian god Isis. Isis dealt with what? Money. The dollar sign is always hidden, secretively referred to as Isis, because money and law and water are together. That's why you call money currency. And when the Canaanites would trade by the sea, the currency and the mercantile is what they used when dealing with other nations. And what you're seeing here is signs and symbols that they're portraying. Comes all the way back into what you call Hindu. They call it mudras. Obviously, it has the word mu in it and dra. So you look up in the Sanskrit mudra, you'll see it's a gesture. So that gesture of her hand being out is what? Rulership, power. She's signifying that I'm stopping any kind of force for evil, but she's also shooting up her right thumb. Okay, so same thing with this deity. You look at him, you probably thinking you seeing Osiris. No, that's not Osiris. That's Baal. Baal was a deity of the Canaans. So why is Baal or Baal looking like Osiris? They were both deities personified as the sun. I wonder why. Were they the same exact thing being worshipped? Maybe so. Okay, but why is this relative? Because her seal, Tanit was worshipped in areas called Tunisia. Tunisia is what some people call Carthage. Carthage is the Berbers, barbarians. Yeah, they were barbarian if you didn't trade with them. But her seal was this triangle with the circle, and it's enclosed. They found this seal shipwrecked everywhere. They find it North Carolina, Mexico, California, the Mediterranean, right? Because the Mediterranean is one of their prime areas for trade, the Canaanites. Look it up. And why? Because when you do business, you do it by the river, you do it by the bank. You do it by the bank because money is synonymous with water. That's why you always see words like drowning and debt. My pockets are flooded. But anyways, this symbol was of Tanit. You see it everywhere. This one was found in the Carolinas. This one was found in New Mexico. It was everywhere because they were seafarers. They went by and they traded by the sea. But they were also in many areas, all the way up in Ireland. And the first orders of the military or the militia was them. They created a colony called Milesian. Militia in language is relative to the word militia. Yeah, because they had soldiers too. And so one of the things when you have an army is going to be synonymous with money, right? And so the symbol for these gods, everybody knows it, was the bull, right? The charging bull. Charging bull is where? It's on Wall Street. Why is it on Wall Street? Because Wall Street is what? It's merchants. They're bankers, right? As was taught to you in the ancient language of Hebrew, whether you want to say that's a misnomer or not. Canaan were Canaanites. And what were they? Merchants. They were traffickers. So what you're seeing today, your bankers and the style of law that they use came from a very historical concept. And so whether you want to say they were Negroids, Caucasoids, whoever, the style of rulership is what you call canon law. Canon is close to the word Canaan because the canon law is the church. These were rulers and connected to the Pharisees. They were connected to the Pharisees. Pharisee is related to the word of the ancient Jewish sect. Whether you're saying they're the ancient or the modern Jews, Jews are what? Rabbis. Rabbis comes from the word rabbit. That's what she was titled as, a rabbit. So you're seeing a rabbi, a magistrate. Magistrate is a feminine word. Magistrate is the feminine. Minister is the masculine. Remember? MA. MA is a feminine concept. So when they trade, when they traded, their seal is what? Found everywhere. You can find this overseas in the East, in the West, in America, everywhere. And so people never told you about this because it's something that not a lot of people know. But she was called Tanit. Ta like Tatiana, like Tanisha. And so they were master merchants. They were tradesmen. And merc is where you get the concept of a mercantile or a mercenary, someone who's murdered for hire, because these were very small secret factions of men, hierarchies who governed the lower class, and they ruled over many nations. You can find them in all of the ancient languages, the Latin, the Hebrew, etc. And so they're related to what you call Mercury. This is I did a video sometime back about the deities of Greece and Roman called mercenaries. Many of the people probably wouldn't watch it because they think it's astrotheology and BS, but it's not, because this is how they personify their deities. That's a deity called Hermes. Now his pictures were changed, but that's irrelevant.